Do you know how many women move around the world without knowing exactly how extremely attractive they are? And no, I'm not just speaking about physical looks. There is something immensely more powerful than that. I'm talking about that subtle essence, that particular way of moving, expressing, and manifesting oneself that can leave a man absolutely confused, even if you have no idea yourself. The most interesting part is that you usually underestimate it. You assume that because you don't fit into a particular category of beauty standard, you cannot possibly be that attractive. But what really attracts us goes far beyond a slim waist or immaculate makeup. It's that unspoken confidence, that transparency that cannot be faked, that vibe you emanate when you enter a room without even having to speak a single word. Today, I want to reveal to you the most obvious sign that you are considerably more attractive than you think, and that men, even though we try to mask it, definitely notice and experience intensely. Some of these signals are so subtle that you might not even have realized how impactful they are. But trust me, we do. Stay until the end of the video because the ninth sign is one of the most disregarded by women, but for us men, it's one of the most seductive. I guarantee it. After watching this video, you will begin to see yourself from an entirely different perspective. Sign 1: Men get nervous around you. This is one of the most real and at the same time, most overlooked signs, since usually when a man acts awkwardly, avoids direct eye contact, or even appears somewhat uncomfortable, you could mistake it as a lack of interest. But in fact, the exact opposite is happening. He is more captivated by you than he can handle. Watch closely. When a man is drawn to a woman who captivates him, his body betrays him. He begins to do things he normally would not do. He touches his neck and crosses and uncrosses his arms for whatever reason. Or he begins to speak faster than normal, or more slowly, since he's scared of messing up. Sometimes he even gets silent, as if he doesn't know what to say. And it's not because he lacks charisma or is insecure. It's because your presence knocks him off balance, since there are truly women who don't only attract physically, they impose. Your beauty, your vitality, and your attitude may make even an experienced guy feel out of his depth. What I'm trying to tell you is that this feeling of discomfort is a major sign. If you notice that when you're around, a man who is often relaxed gets tense, changes his posture, or looks more concentrated on what he's doing than on what he's saying, trust me, you're having a deep impact. And most importantly, don't dim your light to make him feel more comfortable. On the other hand, embrace that power, since if a man becomes nervous around you, it's because he sees you as someone deserving of much more than an ordinary conversation. Sign 2: People look at you repeatedly, even without saying a word. This can sound obvious, yet it's one of the strongest and most overlooked signs. When a woman is genuinely attractive, even if she doesn't notice, the surroundings recognize it. You could assume you're just walking by, stopping by a coffee shop, or standing in line. But from our point of view, something about you grabs attention. It's not just someone staring at you as you pass. What's really important is that second look, the one where they've already passed by but turn their head to look again. Do you know what it means? It indicates that something about you created an impact that couldn't be fulfilled with just a quick glance. That second look is the most genuine way a man, or even other women, confirms that there is something special about you. And it has nothing to do with whether you're stylishly dressed. Sometimes it's just your style of walking, your posture, or your calm yet magnetic personality. It's something that isn't forced but can be felt, because real attraction isn't declared, it's sensed. Sign 3: You underestimate yourself yet consistently receive compliments. This is one of the strongest and most contradictory signs that you are much more beautiful than you imagine. Has it ever happened to you that on a day when you personally don't feel especially attractive, someone still tells you that you look stunning? Or you hear comments like, "I can't quite pinpoint it, but there's something about you that intrigues me"? That's not a coincidence. It's a strongly apparent sign that you generate an energy that attracts people even when you don't realize it yourself. And this is highly common with women who aren't obsessed with being flawless but rather subconsciously attract something in people. Perhaps you think that your hairstyle isn't amazing that day, that you don't have the nice body shape, or that your outfit isn't anything unique, and yet compliments still flow. Why? Because your attractiveness extends much beyond what you see in the mirror. As men, we understand that sometimes we don't know how to explain it effectively, but we feel it. There's something in your voice, in the way you talk, in the way you laugh, and in the naturalness with which you walk through the world that makes us believe this lady has no idea of the impact she has on others. And trust me, that is one of the most attractive things there is. What's fascinating is that the difference between how you perceive yourself and how people perceive you really makes it even more powerful. Sign 4. They seek you out for small reasons. This is a classic that most women don't notice. If a man is attracted to you but doesn't know how to approach you straight away, he begins looking for any reason to interact with you. And usually these reasons are about trivial, seemingly unimportant things like asking if you can help with a specific task, wanting you to explain something, asking for a suggestion, or requesting an insignificant favor. On the surface, it appears casual, but trust me, it's not. We men, when we are attracted to a woman, look for excuses to start a conversation or to get close without making it clear that we're openly flirting. And particularly occurs when a woman intimidates us a bit, just because we like her dearly. We won't approach you immediately with a compliment, but we will show up asking you about any little thing simply to have you nearby. Sign 5. Women criticize you without a valid reason. Yes, I understand this part isn't nice, but we need to address it sincerely because when a woman is genuinely attractive, not just physically, but in her presence, her way of movement, and her energy, not everybody around her will react positively. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. In fact, most of the time you're not even trying to stand out. Yet, you could still notice that certain women look at you strangely, make passive-aggressive remarks, or condemn you for things that truly don't make sense, as if something about you was too much, too confident, too gorgeous, too elegant, or even too kind. And I want you to understand this, that unfair criticism isn't about you. It's about how people feel when you're around. Because your beauty might cause other people, particularly insecure women, to look at themselves harshly, and that involuntarily stimulates a reaction. Sign 6. People smile at you without knowing you. Has it ever happened that you're strolling down the street, at the shopping mall, or on a train or bus, and suddenly somebody, particularly a man, gives you a broad smile without any clear reason? He doesn't say anything. He doesn't know you. He's not even trying to initiate a conversation. But he smiles at you. Perhaps timidly, as if he's ashamed that you noticed. At other moments, with more confidence, nearly as if saying, "Wow, what energy this woman is radiating." And although it might seem unimportant, it's not. That smile mirrors what you represent. Because when a woman is genuinely attractive, and again, I'm not speaking just about physical attractiveness, it radiates. It's sensed. There's something about her way of walking, of looking, of just existing, that automatically attracts other people in. And that attraction drives many men, without you saying a word, to feel the need to smile at you. Sign 7. Men in relationships look at you more than usual. And I understand this point is sensitive and not necessarily something you'll like to hear, but it needs to be addressed. If a woman is genuinely beautiful, her energy does not go ignored. And sometimes even men who are already in committed relationships struggle to stop staring at you. I'm not saying that it's right or that you cause it, but it happens. And that happens more frequently than you might think. You're at an event, strolling down the street, or at a restaurant, and then you catch that look, that lingering look that lasts a bit longer than it should from somebody who is clearly not available. And even though people often try to hide it because they know they shouldn't be doing it, their body betrays them, since attraction isn't always controllable, particularly if it's sparked by something beyond physical attractiveness, something deeper that is felt. Sign 8. You get a lot of attention on social media, even without showing much. This is something most women notice, and something you frequently don't completely comprehend. You share a casual photo, no dramatic poses, no exposing outfits, no effort to attract attention, and still the messages flow in, the likes increase, and the reactions don't stop. Does that sound familiar? And you ask yourself, what's unique about this photo? But it's not about the photo. It's about you. If a woman is genuinely beautiful, she doesn't need to show off to create an impact. Because what attracts is not only what is seen but also what is expressed. Your integrity, your look, your natural way of being, all of it creates a vibe that even traverses the screen. And trust me, men notice it. In fact, some even fear it since they don't know how to control so much feminine vitality in such a delicate form. The most fascinating thing is that many of you have no idea about it. You feel you need to do more, show more, and generate a more perfect picture. But your actual strength lies in your natural way of living. Sign 9. Men become confused around you. This is one of the obvious signs but also one of the most misinterpreted among women. Definitely, it has happened to you. A man treats you with a lot of care, as if he's truly interested in you. He follows you out, speaks to you, and compliments you, and then suddenly, as if nothing happened, he walks away. He pulls away. But after a couple of days, he comes back as if nothing had ever transpired. Confusing, right? You ask yourself, is he playing games with me? What does he want? And here's the truth, there are many times he's not playing. He's struggling, yes, battling with what he feels. Because when a man is sincerely drawn to a woman, particularly if he considers her outstanding, that attraction might overwhelm him. He might be intimidated, uncertain of what to say or how to act. So, he pulls away, not because he's not interested, but because he's too interested. Sign 10. You don't know your own power. And this is the strongest sign of all, since something occurs more often than you imagine. The most gorgeous women often don't realize it or don't believe it. They move through life doubting themselves, wondering if they measure up when, in reality, they are the ones creating the difference. And let me tell you something from a masculine viewpoint, it shows when you enter a room without trying to attract attention, and yet you do. It shows when you talk simply, without striving to impress, yet you end up impressing more than anybody else. Do you know why? Because you're not trying. You're just being. And if a woman lives in that authentic way, it carries immense power.